Twinkies. I think it's something that most people are at least somewhat familiar with. Whether people have had these themselves or just heard of them, whether they love them and it's one of their favorite things, or whether they hate them and think they're one of the worst things in the world, most people at least know what Twinkies are. And this is Twinkies right here. It's a, as they say on the package, golden sponge cake with creamy filling. And Twinkies have a definite reputation. It might not seem like something that would be on this channel. It doesn't have anything to do with rations. But one of the things about Twinkies is that they're considered to last forever. I think it's a bit of a misnomer, and I find myself in a kind of a strange position where I'm going to actually be defending Twinkies to some extent here. But as I said, Twinkies don't seem like something that should necessarily be on my channel, but they do share something in common with MREs in the fact that, as I said, people think that they last forever. MREs are designed to last 3 to 5 years and can last a lot longer. We've seen some reviews of some very old ones, and some of the stuff amazingly does remain edible. But this was really meant to be stored for a long time and eaten a lot later. Twinkies really aren't. They do have a bit of a shelf life. It's now April 1st, and this one right here, which I bought actually last week, has a Best By date of April 20th, 2016. So they're obviously designed to last for a few weeks. And as far as me defending these, there's a pretty common saying, pretty common joke about Twinkies that says that if there was a nuclear war, the only things that would survive would be cockroaches and Twinkies. And as I said, the reason for that is because they have a bit of a long shelf life, and despite the fact that they're a cake, they're presented as being like a cake product. It even says cake on the package. But I don't really think of them as an actual cake. And I think that's the key. If you go to your local grocery store and they have a bakery and they make a cake with a creamy filling inside of it and put it up for sale, it'll probably be there for 2 days at most. And then if you can find it, it'll be on the day-old bread rack for a reduced rate, and it'll go stale very quickly, and it just won't be good after a couple of days. Twinkies seem like the same thing. It seems like it's a cake. It's like a pastry or a bread cake kind of a product. And so it should only be good for a couple of days. So the fact that it's good for 3 or 4 weeks before it really starts to go stale just seems unnatural. But I don't think of them as a pastry, as a cake, as something you would find in a bakery, as much as I think of them more along the lines of a candy bar, something that can be shelf stable for at least a couple of weeks. Because otherwise it wouldn't be worth making these and selling them, because they go into a truck and they get shipped all over the country, all over the world, I suppose, and they get put on shelves, and they're going to be sold for at least a little while. If they were only good for 2 days, what would the point be? They wouldn't be. It would just be something you want to make locally and eat quickly. So, with all that being said, I'm going to make a bit of a different kind of video here, as you can already see. And this was actually suggested by a subscriber named Yardis Apolfo. And Yardis had said, why don't you put a Twinkie away for a year and try it and see how it lasts. I know this is something that's been done before. You can certainly find other videos on this. But I thought it kind of went along with the whole idea of the MREs, and figured that I would try it myself. So last year I took a fresh Twinkie and wrapped it in bubble wrap, taped it up, then sealed it up in a box. And I put it away for a year for safekeeping. It has now been a year, and here is that same box. So a little bit scuffed up, but hasn't been tampered with or anything. Obviously I put this, kind of as a joke, but I put this warning on here. And we're going to open this up and see what a year-old Twinkie looks, smells, and tastes like. First we're going to break the seal. Get in the box here. There's a little note that I gave to myself when I packed this up. inside of this bubble wrap is our vintage Hostess Twinkie. These are the fresh ones, and I did have I bought a box of individual ones, so it, seems to look pretty much the same. Let me open these up and I'll use the fresh one as a comparison. So the fresh ones, for anybody who's not familiar with Twinkies, it's this, it smells good. I personally, I should have mentioned that I personally like Twinkies. It's not something, it's another thing it has in common with MREs, is it's not something I would recommend eating all the time. Obviously it's junk food, it's nothing that's good for you. I probably should have shown the ingredients. Let's do that real quick. Here's the ingredients. It's obviously a lot of ingredients for a sponge cake with creamy filling. And here are the nutrition facts too. So yeah, it's a sponge cake. It's pretty soft. It's kind of moist. It's a little bit greasy, oily when you to the touch. Kind of need to wipe your fingers off. I don't know if you can see the sheen on there. There's a kind of makes your fingers shiny. And it's very, very sweet, which is obviously on purpose and part of the reason I like them. And inside of them, you're going to find the creamy filling. A lot of sugar in there. You basically pump it into these three little holes here. So there's three little pockets of filling. If you haven't tasted them, I'm not exactly sure how to describe them other than that they're very sweet. You probably either like them or hate them. I personally have always liked them, but like I said, I can't eat them all the time. I just wipe my hands off. They're pretty greasy right now. All right, and now it is the moment of truth. The year-old Hostess Twinkie. Visual inside the package, it still looks the same. It looks very much like it did a year ago. And I compare it to this one here. Color's not off. Color's bright and golden. Looks the same. Doesn't seem to be particularly hard. It's still pretty spongy for a sponge cake. That's not too good. The cake itself looks good, but the cream, I don't know how well this comes out, but I'm sure we'll see it when we take the thing out. It's a brownish color instead of the familiar white. It should be a bright white, and instead it's this brownish. It's weird. The cake seems to be fine, but something's not quite right with the cream. So let's go inside here and check this out. Alright, so here it is. Like I said, it looks amazingly the same as it did when it went in. I guess that's all the preservatives doing their work. It's very well preserved. It's still pretty soft, maybe a little bit on the stale side as far as the feeling. But this is the thing I'm a little bit concerned about and kind of worried about the fact that I'm committed to eating this. Well, let's see what's inside. The outside seems pretty fine. Oh my god, that's pretty strange right there. It's not moldy or anything. It's not, and that's not particularly hard either. But there's obviously a big difference between fresh and year-old. It smells a little bit off. It doesn't smell terrible, but it doesn't really smell like a Twinkie. Twinkie has a very, very familiar smell if you've had them. Like I said, it basically smells, I don't know, it smells like sugar. It smells incredibly sweet. It's a very confectionery kind of a thing. And the cream is usually really, really tasty too and extremely sweet. But I guess we're going to have to go ahead and try this. We've done the visual, we've done the smell, and all that's left is the taste. So let's try this out. A little bit, feels a little bit, a little on the stale side. The cream does not taste like the regular cream. It doesn't seem to be all that, wait a minute. No, no, no. That's not good. Oh my god, that's... Oh, that's horrible. It almost burns. Wow, it's not... I gotta try a little bit more. It's really hard to describe it. Rancid? No, it doesn't taste rancid. It just has this really weird, not natural smell to it. Ugh. Oh my god. I hope this taste is going to go away. I need to get some water. I don't have any with me. Oh. I mean, it's just a mess. It's hard to describe. I want to say the cake itself isn't that bad, but it really doesn't have much of a flavor. It's this cream that's... It's just horrible. I mean, I've had some really old MREs and didn't like them. But at least you could identify usually what the taste is. It's really a mystery. Well, I guess it's not a mystery. We know exactly what's in it. But all this stuff here, apparently, it's not meant to last for a year. Which is, ugh, God. Which is fair. I mean, it's not designed to. And I probably really shouldn't be doing this. I'm hoping this last bite isn't going to be the one that's going to be the end of me. But it still has that greasiness. Look at that. It's really... That's probably what's preserving it. At least looks, not taste. You know what? I have to eat some of this this good one to try and get rid of some of that awful awful taste. Wow. Okay, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Oh, I had to get some water. That seems to help a little bit. I would definitely not recommend doing this. Twinkies are perfectly fine when they're new. They will last for a couple of weeks, maybe can stretch it to a month. I would definitely not recommend waiting a year before eating yours, though. If you get some. One last thing I wanted to mention is that I did have the little note that I had included with the box, and let's see what that says on it. These were chocolate cream Twinkies, and still fresh. April 11th, 2016 is the Best By date. So that was the reason for the color of the cream in there. So, sorry about that, but thank you for watching, and happy April Fool's Day. Go out and get yourself some Twinkies.